All right, fourth grade. So we talked about how to correctly shade a sphere. So we're gonna get to make 3 ornaments today. We're just gonna start with them being a perfect circle. I'm gonna use my tape to trace the inside just so I can get a good circle. So I need to fit 3, so I don't wanna just put it there and not be able to fit. I wanna start at the very top. I'm gonna use a Sharpie just so you can see. You will use pencil. So I'll just go around the inside and I have a circle. I'm gonna make 3 of those. 1, 2, 3. Now to help me make sure that I don't accidentally lose my highlight, I'm going to put my highlight in there with my pencil just very, very lightly. Now remember, the highlight's never smack in the middle, is it? It's not a target. Our highlight goes off and up to the side. It can go to this side, it can go to that side. It doesn't matter. I'll just put mine over here. So I'm just gonna put a really light circle. Not in the middle, but off, up and over. So I'm just really lightly adding my highlight circles, so that tells me that I don't want to color over that portion I want to stay wet. So you remember us talking about how it starts with our highlights, and then we have our mid-tone range, and then we have our darkest down here at this side. So we can use both dark and light values, including white, to create our ornament. So I'm gonna do blue here. So I've got a dark blue, I got a light blue. I could also blend analogous colors together, which are colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. So I could blend some green into my blue if I would like, because those are colors that are near each other. I don't want to blend colors that are not right next to each other on the color wheel, because those colors will make brown. So I'm going to start with my darkest value first, and I'm going to work my way to my lightest value. So I know that my darkest value is always going to be down here on the opposite side of where my highlight is. So I'm gonna color, and we will be cutting these out so we don't have to make sure that it's all colored nice and perfect. I'm just gonna start to put my dark value in, and notice how I'm going with the curve of my circle. I'm not just coloring back and forth. My sphere curves, so I'm kind of making like a curved line when I go. Okay, so I'm gonna start to go around. So I colored really, really dark and thick down here. Now I'm gonna start to spread my colors out. These are oil pastels, and oil pastels are good to blend together. So now I'm going to switch. I'm going to start to throw some of my light blue in there. I'm going to put it right on top, because they're all going to get mixed together anyway. So I'm going to put my light blue right on top. If I wanted to throw a little bit of that green in there, I can. That'll make me kind of more of a teal ornament. Okay. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of white and make sure that I'm not filling in my highlight in at all. So I've got my white. I'm just gonna kind of fill it in that general area. Leave my highlight completely empty. All right, now I've got it colored. Now it's time to blend. So I'm just gonna use my thumb here, and I'm gonna start to blend my colors together. Again, doesn't matter if you get outside the lines, because you are going to cut these out. So when I blend, I'm gonna go in the direction of my oval. If I start blending like this, that's no good. I need to blend in a circle. Just like I drew in a circle, I need to blend in a circle. That's how my sphere looks spherical. All right, I think that looks pretty good. I'm ready to move on to my next one. I'm gonna repeat the process for all 3. I do not have to do the same colors. I can totally switch colors, mix it up, make it different. If I would like to add a darker shadow at the bottom, I can always come in with a tiny bit of black, just a little bit, throw it in at the very bottom and blend it in. If you use too much black, it is overpowering and it does not look good. So just a tiny bit will make that just a little bit darker at the bottom. All right, so I'm gonna move on and do my next ones, and then when we're all done, we're gonna be cutting these out. So now that we have our value ornaments, we need somewhere to hang them. So we are going to be making some pine tree fronds. A frond refers to this because it's not quite leaves, it's needles attached to a stem. So this is a frond. And what we're going to do is we are going to create our fronds using our oil pastels again. So if I look closely at my example here, it's from my actual Christmas tree at home, I see that there's a brown stem that runs through the middle and that there are needles that point out at a diagonal angle from the stem, okay? And then we can actually add a variety of colors. I see like these are a lighter green and these ones are a darker green. So we can do both light and dark green to do this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to start by making 3 stems that extend off the edge of my paper. So using my brown oil pastel, I'm just gonna thickly color here. I'm gonna make 3 stems. And I want to leave room so that I can actually put my ornaments underneath my stems. That's where they're going to hang from. So make sure that you're towards the top of your paper and not hanging way down out here at the bottom. Otherwise your ornaments are going to end up hanging off the page. And then I'm just going to take my oil pastels and I'm going to start to mimic the shapes of these needles. So I'm just going to do straight lines that come out from my stem, but I'm going to put them at a diagonal angle. I'm not going to do them straight like that. I'm going to do them slightly at a diagonal angle because you can see when I look at my frond, the needles do grow at a diagonal angle. They do not grow straight out. So that's one way we can make it look really realistic. And then when we get to the top, they do go straight and then they go back in the other direction. So straight, and then I turn back the other way. If you need to turn your paper to do that successfully, then turn your paper. Not a big deal. So I can add some of my dark green. I can come back in. I could add some in my light green. All trees are different. They can have different values. Some of them have really thick needles. Some of them are a little bit more sparse. So that is completely up to you. I'm going to repeat that for the rest of mine. And now my goal is to cut out my ornaments and hang them on my tree branches. So to do that, just cut around on my black line. You don't want to have any white paper left behind, so take your time. All right, so when we glue these on, we're gonna glue them, we don't wanna glue them right up on the tree. We wanna leave them down a little bit. We're gonna add the little hanger with our oil pastels after they're glued. So you can arrange them any way you want them. Put your glue on the back of the ornament. Never put the glue on the black paper because then you have sticky glue hanging out the edges and you'll glue them down. So once they're glued, you can use your silver oil pastel to go over the top and add that little hanger and loop it around your tree branch. So I'll make a square up at the top of my ornament and then I'll do a little curved line to attach it to my tree frond.